Good evening. I call to order the regular meeting of the Lakewood City Council of September 26, 2016. Will the clerk please call a roll?
Hall.
Here.
Wickman. Here. Vincent. Here. Roybal.
Here.
Harrison. Here. Johnson. Shakti. Here. Abel.
Here.
Coop.
Here.
Franks. Gutwein. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome everybody out tonight and thank you for taking part in true government in action. I know you probably had some other options tonight to watch, but I think will be much more entertaining here at the City of Lakewood. Maybe? No? So I would like to just mention a couple of quick notes. Mayor Pro Tem Johnson is enjoying a much-deserved vacation, so she is not with us tonight. And our city manager, Kathy Hodson, is traveling, doing some leadership seminars or some sort of leadership program. And so our Deputy City Manager, Nanette Nealon, is with us tonight. And I'd ask if you do have a cell phone to please turn it off or put it on silent. And we will rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stay standing for a moment of silent prayer. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. So I also wanted to make mention, too, that from time to time, when you serve in this capacity, you see people come and go, and we had a gentleman who in fact, Tom Quinn would probably remember, the Warrior on Freedom, Gerald Lopez, who frequented our meetings for some time, passed away last week, so we wanted to just give our condolences to the Lopez family. And he was, as Councilor Abel reminded me, he was actually a resident of Ward 2, but we saw him throughout the RTD process, and he was very active, so I just wanted to send that out. And moving from there, item 4.
Item 4, Resolution 2016-42, reappointing a member to the Lakewood Victim Assistance Compensation Board.
Thank you, and I will turn this over to our Screening Committee Chair, Ms. Harrison.
One of the things that the Screening Committee gets to do, which is absolutely the best part of this, is to actually interview and get to know the people that are volunteering for the City of Lakewood. And we were able to meet both Courtney and Suzanne, which we will be here in a minute. Courtney came very highly recommended, and we're thrilled to have her. And I'd like to read the resolution. Resolution 2016-42, reappointing a member to the Lakewood Victim Assistance Compensation Board. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Lakewood, Colorado, that Courtney Hill, a victim advocate, is hereby reappointed on September 26, 2016, as program representative from the Victim Assistance to the Lakewood Victim Assistance Compensation Board to fill a 3-year term that will commence on October 1st, 2016 and will end September 30th, 2019.
All right, thank you. So let's just say so moved if somebody would like to make that motion.
I'd like to, so moved.
All right. Second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. All right. That passes 10 ayes, 0 nays. Congratulations and thank you for serving. I do not see her here, but here. All right. The clerk, please read item 5.
Item 5, Resolution 2016-43, appointing a new member to the Lakewood Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community.
This is another wonderful person. And Suzanne, would you like to stand up? We were thrilled to have her part of our meeting tonight. Thank you. I'd like to move to appoint Suzanne Adams to the Lakewood Advisory Commission for Inclusive Community to fill an unexpired 3-year term that commenced January 2015 and will end on December 31st, 2017.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes. Drum roll, look out.
Can you clear that?
Suzanne, you're in.
Well, we're going to make it tough on you because we're going to clear out and we're going to start over. All right. Passes 10 ayes, 0 nay. Welcome. Thank you.
Hey.
I'd just like to say, being able or having the opportunity to give back, we really appreciate it. It means a lot, and your time is very valuable to the city of Lakewood, so thank you for taking on this venture. So this is the point in the meeting where the public is invited to address the city council on items that did not appear on the agenda. All comments should be directed to the city council. I'll ask all in attendance, and this looks like a pretty mild group, to observe the decorum of the city council chambers, refrain from applause or audible support or discord with the speaker. There is a 3-minute time limit. Your light will glow green, and then when you have 30 seconds left, yellow, and when you're done, red, and I will gently try to wrap you up in that moment. And looks like we have 2 folks, and I'm going to go with Ms. Guard. You are up first. Welcome. Good evening. Ms. Guard was a Spanish teacher when I was in, should I say, junior high, Dunston Middle School. She's here to tell stories.
That's right. Yeah, I can be bought. So I loved my middle school time. I retired just 2 years ago from Jefferson County Public Schools. My name is Deborah Gard, G-A-R-D. This evening I'm here to advocate for the ballot issue 3A and 3B, and I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of Jefferson County, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of them. The following statement is from Mary Lonergan, who is our president. The Jefferson County League of Women's Voters supports Jefferson County School District R1 ballot issue 3A and 3B. The ballot issue 3A is a mill levy needed to attract and retain staffing needs, increase student safety, and expand student programs. The mill levy override would help maintain the district's tradition of academic excellence. Ballot issue 3B is a bond that will fund major renovations and repairs to schools and facilities. The bond issue would upgrade safety and security in all of our school buildings. These increases are needed to address our aging school buildings, the lack of schools in growth areas, to offset the reduction of state funding, and the ability to attract and retain outstanding teachers. We believe the administration has met the League's standard of operating efficiently with sound financial practices. It is evident to us that our schools need additional financial support from our community to maintain quality education. The League supports financial prudence that mandates our investment in our schools. These ballot issues are, in our opinion, a necessary expense to ensure our future. A good education translates into a strong community. Therefore, the Jefferson County League of Women Voters strongly supports 3A and 3B. We would encourage your support and vote as well. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out tonight.
You bet.
Next up, I have Ms. Natasha Adler. Good evening. Welcome.
Is this my green light here?
Yeah, she'll turn it on, so it's right in front of there, actually.
Oh, got it. All right.
You're good.
Good to go?
Yep, go.
Good evening. My name is Natasha Adler, A-D-L-E-R, and I'm before you today as a representative of the campaign that has organized to oppose the tobacco tax that will appear on your ballot this fall. My request is that Lakewood City Council take an official position opposed to what will be enumerated as Amendment 72. Though it has flown somewhat under the radar vis-a-vis the more prominent issues this fall, like fracking, socialized medicine, assisted suicide, etc., a coalition of interest has succeeded in putting on the ballot a $1.75 increase in the tax on a pack of cigarettes, currently 84 cents, raising the total tax to $2.59, and 22% increase on cigars, pipe tobacco, and other tobacco products. Proponents are committed to raise $315 million per year, which will be divided among a variety of grant-receiving organizations, which include veterans, rural doctors, tobacco-related research, with only 16% going to cessation programs. It's very open to interpretation how much is going to actual health care, with some money going to behavioral health. None of the money is going to address the real needs of our cities, such as education or transport infrastructure or water storage or any other real priority in our respective municipalities. There are 4 reasons to oppose this tax that I'd like you to consider today. 1, the amendment creates a permanent grant-making revenue stream in the Colorado Constitution. It's a regressive tax that creates a disproportionate effect on the most vulnerable among us. Crime from illicit trade goes up with cigarette taxes. If this tax succeeds, we're likely to see more contraband cigarettes coming to Colorado from other states. We'll have the highest taxes on cigarettes than any other state around us, including Wyoming, where the tax on cigarettes is 60 cents, in Nebraska we're at 64 cents. And finally, the most important for tonight, this new tax results in no new monies for local governments, not a penny. The other side of this issue says that they want to reduce smoking, but if you look at the ambitious new programs that they want to create, it would be hard to argue that they want to reduce smoking all that much. If discouraging young people to smoke was the point, the tax proponents would have created an amendment that raised the age of someone who smokes. Several states have raised the age of smoking from 18 to 21, and several more have ballot issues that they are deciding on this fall. But raising the age of smoking doesn't create more revenue. Proponents are gambling that people will smoke less, but not too much less if we raise the taxes. I've provided your clerk today with a fact sheet on Amendment 72, a copy of my talking points, and a sign-up sheet to be listed as a supporter for the No on Amendment 72 campaign. I've included instructions on how to turn that into me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, that exhausts the roster. Anybody else in chambers? Yes, ma'am. That's fine. Come on down. Just give us your name and address would be great. Or if your address is on file, your name's fine.
Lynn Judson, 1805 South Van Gordon Street, Lakewood.
Welcome.
80228. Yeah, thank you. Tonight I'm here to urge us to oppose the rezoning at C470 and Alameda Parkway, where it's Dinosaur Ridge area with a visitor center there. It's I think it's the northwest corner, and also the southeast corner. The reason that I'm opposed is that it's the #1 dinosaur track site in the country, and it receives upwards of 160,000 visitors a year. It's internationally famous. They're trying to make it a national monument right now. I think it's a natural landmark. And I feel it brings people to our area. It definitely supports recreation to not have building there. They're thinking of, what I understand about it is that the Rooneys owned the property. Stevenson now owns it, has bought it, and he's intending to build some car dealerships, not huge ones, but ones that would bring in more traffic noise. And I fear that it could hurt property values, could hurt our revenues in that way, that it will cause more traffic and congestion, and that the archaeology and paleontology needs to be preserved. So I think that it's a very unique area, and we should keep it the way it is, not rezone it, not develop it into a retail mall. So that's my view, and I hope, and I'm not alone. There's at least 20,000 people that have signed our petition, and there are many people that oppose this in Lakewood. The other thing I wanted to bring up about it is there's concern with wastewater treatment. The town of Morrison has refused to take their wastewater. The Bear Creek Watershed Authority has not taken it and has refused. And I think as a city we should refuse so that we keep this area natural and preserve the beauty that brought many of us to Lakewood in the beginning. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank Thank you. Anybody else in chambers? All right. Well, I will close public comment. Again, I appreciate the folks who came out, and I'm sure the council members will take all this under consideration. Just a quick clarifier for folks who may not be aware, the Rooney Valley rezoning is in Jefferson County, and that will be going before the Board of County Commissioners. And just a tidbit on the sewer system out there. Lakewood, we do operate a water and sewer enterprise, but nothing that goes that far out. So if they weren't able to tap in, I would imagine that the folks who do serve the valley right now would be Green Mountain Water and Sanitation, and you could probably have that conversation with them. All right. The consent agenda is what we have up next. The use of the consent agenda has been made to expedite council action. It contains both resolutions and first reading ordinances. Tonight it'll be just resolutions. Resolutions are items of routine nature. Members of the public will have an opportunity in a moment to comment on any of the proposed resolutions. Any council member may request an item on the consent agenda be removed for separate discussion and action under general business. And just to let the folks know, and on council, we do have a couple presentations on some of these. Will the city clerk please read the items on the consent agenda into the record?
The consent agenda consists of items 7 through 11 inclusive. Item 7, Resolution 2016-45, approving the sole source purchase of protective vests for the Lakewood members of the West Metro SWAT team. Item 8, Resolution 2016-44, reappointing Barbara Teich, John Buckley, and Megan Wesley to the Board of Directors of the Alameda Corridor Business Improvement District, and appointing Philip Shapiro to replace Megan Wesley to the Board of Directors. Item 9, Resolution 2016-46, approving the 2017 operating plan and proposed budget for the Alameda Corridor Business Improvement District. Item 10, Resolution 2016-47, approving the 2017 operating plan and proposed budget for the Lakewood West Colfax Business Improvement District. And item 11, approving the City Council meeting minutes of September 12, 2016.
All right, thank you. Let's go with presentations. So I think we'll start with presentation. Looks like item 9 is our first one, and that's going to be Mr. Tom Quinn. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back, Carter. Right? How's it feel?
A little odd, but it's okay. Good evening, Mayor Paul and members of City Council. I'm happy to be with you tonight. My name is Tom Quinn. I am the Acting Executive Director for the Alameda Corridor Business Improvement District, filling in for Mr. George Valek, who is on leave at this time. Happy to be with you here tonight to talk about the Alameda Corridor Business Improvement District operating plan and budget and answer any questions you might have. I'd like to begin by thanking City Council, the City of Lakewood, and all of its departments for the great collaboration and partnership we've had with them over the years. It's always really good to work with the city, and we're partners in keeping the Alameda Corridor a vital business corridor. And with that, what I'm going to do tonight is give you a very short refresher on the Alameda Corridor Business Improvement District. I'm just going to use the acronym AC BID, so I don't take as much time. I'll give you a little update on the AC BID, when it started, briefly tell you about its governance, and then move on to discuss the major priorities that are outlined in the operating plan. And with that, let me see if I can find the presentation. Very good. So just a short overview of the AC BID and its history. We were formed in 2003 under the provisions of the Colorado Business District Improvement Act. By vote of the business commercial property owners in the district, They did a self-assessment of property tax at a rate of 5.72 mils, and also voted to allow the district to retain any tax revenues collected. The boundaries of the district, and it's my understanding you have a map that was included with your packet, are Carr Street on the west and Sheridan Boulevard on the east. It's kind of an irregular boundary. The boundary is a little irregular at some points, but it kind of narrows out, especially where there's no businesses located along the corridor. As far as governance, the district is governed by a 7-member board of directors, and they are appointed by you as Lakewood City Council to terms of 3 years. One note about something I'm going to be adding to the website in the coming months, and that will be an About Bid feature. The website is actually at lakewoodcousa.com. So we're hoping by November 1st to have some additional content, which will include a description of the bid, a map, a basic description of what we do and the projects we're involved in, and a listing of the members of the board of directors. So we'll move on to the priorities identified in the plan. As you'll see, we emphasize economic development and marketing, corridor beautification, and corridor safety. And I'll talk a little bit about each one of those and take any questions you might have. The first area is economic development and marketing. And this is an area where we work very closely with the Alameda Gateway Community Association. Communications are obviously an important component of that. Communications with business owners in the corridor, as well as residents in the surrounding community, elected officials, and others. And we do that through several means. First, I think everyone here has attended one of our Alameda Gateway community meetings at one time or another. And we try to make those very informative for everyone. So we have updates from the Lakewood Police Department, West Metro Fire, Lakewood Economic Development. We try to keep everyone informed on what is going on. The other thing we do is we have an email update system. Anybody who is interested in the Alameda Corridor can sign up to be on that email list. We also have a Facebook page, which we are trying to make some upgrades to and increase the number of likes as much as possible and try to add some additional good content to that. We also have a Facebook page, and I mentioned before we're looking at making some improvements to that as well. We also have a lot of one-on-one contact. So in the business support area, we are always available for consultation with business owners in the corridor. They will sometimes approach us for advice and consultation on various issues that they might have. The other area is corridor beautification. And under corridor beautification, we have landscaping and public art. And under landscaping, you heard a presentation last week from Ms. Nealon regarding the proposed LRA funding for improvements on the Alameda Corridor. The discussion we've had is that the LRA would fund those initial improvements, and then the Business Improvement District would take over the maintenance after that. We also have a grants program to provide small grants for small businesses to do landscaping and signage improvements. We haven't done a lot with that program in recent years, but we're looking at rebooting that and making some additional use of it in the future. In the public art area, we have 2 programs, and you probably are somewhat familiar with these. Art on the Plaza, we lease 6 art pieces every year for display and public enjoyment on the Civic Center Plaza. You've probably passed them many times. We purchase one of those art pieces each year for display in our Arts Along Alameda program. And we purchase some other pieces as well, which you've probably seen. If you go to either roundabout when you leave the parking lot, you'll see one of the pieces that we've purchased for the Arts Along Alameda program, as well as the flow art feature that you see at Alameda and Sheridan, and several others. We're hoping we definitely will be continuing with that program in the coming year, maybe, and also looking at expanding it a little bit. The final area is corridor safety, and we do several things in this regard and always looking for additional opportunities. One of those is that we fund office space for Lakewood Police Department at our office at 275 South Sheridan Boulevard. What that does is serve to increase their presence in the corridor. There's a sign that says Lakewood Police Department right under the Alameda Gateway sign. And increasing that presence can't help but to have some positive effect on public safety. We also support and promote their crime prevention through environmental design program. We've purchased in the past 2 surveillance cameras to aid in crime deterrence in the corridor. And we also promote the WARN program, Western Area Resource Network, as well. One other addition you probably saw in the operating plan was we're going to be cooperating with the City of Lakewood to do some exploration of a possible bike share program in the downtown Lakewood area. At this point, it's exploratory to see what the practicality would be of that. So that's something we're going to be pursuing in the following year. So I wanted to conclude by saying thank you again for your partnership with the Alameda Corridor Business Improvement District. Look forward to continuing to work with all of you, as well as with the various city departments. And at this time, I'd be glad to take any questions you might have.
Yeah, we'll go ahead. I think we'll go ahead and do that before our next presentation. Mr. Roybal?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Quinn, thank you very so much for stepping up to the plate, and it's great. Thank you. Just a quick shout out to George and just say hello. Wanted to get a timeline on the development on the Alameda corridor. What's our schedule like to do the landscaping and all the beautiful stuff that would go along Alameda?
That would be set depending on the approval of the LRA funding proposal. And so once that's approved, then we'll be able to do some planning. We're hoping to be able to move forward with that in 2017, ideally. Now, what we've been discussing also is doing some additional public art improvements at the same time as those identity features are added to the corridor. And Ms. Nealon did a very thorough summary of that last week as far as what the concept is for those improvements. So I would say once the plan is approved, we'd be able to talk more about the timeline.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Wickman?
2 accounting questions. What is the urban tax all about? And the administrative services contract for $125,000, what is that?
Excellent question about the urban tax, because people ask that frequently. That is actually the tax increment. So it's a urban renewal area. It's part of an urban renewal project. So the way the county does this is they give us the total property tax amount, and then they deduct from that the TIF, and that gives us a net amount at the end. So in other words, it's an urban renewal area, tax increment financing. The TIF has to be deducted from all property taxes collected. That includes the taxes collected for the Business Improvement District. So that's what the urban tax is. It's a very common question. The administrative services contract, that is the contract for services provided to the Alameda Corridor Business Improvement District, the personnel services. And at this time, that's just 2 people. That's myself, and I'm actually on a contract with the Alameda Gateway to provide services to the Business Improvement District. So I'm an independent contractor. I get paid a set amount by contract every month. And we only have 1 employee. She's a part-time employee who provides administrative support services. But we're not sure at this point with the uncertainty as far as the future of an executive director. We don't know what the salary requirements of that might be. So what we did was we took the number from last year and we used the same number for this year because we're not sure about that. But it's services is what it is.
That's not one person's salary, it's 2.
That's correct. It's a contract amount for me, and then it's the part-time. And it may well turn out to be less than that for this year, but we have to be looking toward the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well done, Mr. Quinn. No further questions.
Okay.
Oh, Ms. Shakti.
I just had to give a little shout out to the bike share. That sounds exciting.
Yes, we're very glad to be working with the city on exploring those opportunities.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And next, we'll have a presentation on Resolution 201647, and that's going to be the Colfax bid, Mr. Bill Marino, and it looks like Mr. Yoshida. Tag team. Good evening, welcome. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk that long.
Good evening, I'm Bill Marino. I'm the Executive Director of Lakewood West Colfax BID. I'd like to echo a couple of things that my former Planning Commissioner colleague, Tom Quinn, shared. Is we wouldn't even have a business improvement district without the partnership we have with the city. I think most of you know that there were 2 failed attempts to form a business improvement district along West Colfax, and when we linked arms together back in 2009, we were able to get it done. So thanks to that. I'd also like to give a shout out to George Valek. I served with him on the Metro's Housing Solutions Board, but he was an integral part of mentoring and coaching us and helping us model a bid for West Colfax. So George, shout out to you, buddy. So I too have a quick presentation. Let me get that fired up. Let's see, how about right there?
Quick. Glad Sharon caught that.
All right. This is the 5th time we've come before you to talk about this business improvement district. So we'll do a quick recap also, and then we'll cover the 2017 plan and maybe talk a little bit about some things for the future. For those of you that have either been enjoyed me speaking or get tired of me speaking, you know that I always start with this slide. We're 3 organizations in one, and the Business Improvement District, we talk about it as being the Intel inside. It's the operational platform, it's a stable funding mechanism, and we provide funding for the West Colfax Community Association as well as 40 West Arts District. And it's a good thing Maddie doesn't charge me royalties for using her picture. A quick recap on historical context. I think many of you know that this whole movement started under Steve Burkhalter when he formed the West Colfax Action Plan Committee. We went through a 2-year process and adopted a plan in 2006. That was the basis for building the Business Improvement District, and that was the first vestige of a dream of having an arts district. And I pay a lot of tribute to those folks. I was fortunate enough to serve on that committee as well. Fast forward to 2009 through 2011, we also wouldn't have a business improvement district without Bunny Malm. Bunny and I went door to door for 2 years, knocked on doors, shook hands, and just told people that if you wanted to see change on West Colfax and you wanted to have some self-determination, we needed a little bit of predictable funding, and we all had to join arms and move forward together. And that's what we got done in November of 2011. We got the petition through and the special election with more than 77% of the vote, and lo and behold, we had a bid. So from there, simultaneously, we formed 40 West Arts and filed the necessary paperwork for a 501c3 entity. Again, in partnership with the city, we worked together on that very first visionary document, the 40 West Urban Design and Mobility Plan that was adopted by City Council in 2012. In 2013, which was our first year of funding, because the way the funding works, we get our funds in arrears after collection. So we were able to help revitalize and restructure the West Colfax Community Association and just kind of help that group expand and grow. And it's really become a vibrant organization that's still growing, and I think many of you have been to our meetings as well that follow a similar model as Alameda Gateway. I think we all remember the celebration in 2014 when that dream of having an arts district became certified by the state through Colorado Creative Industries. It was a big day for us. It said to our community and to Lakewood at large, we must be doing something right. It came with some funding and some other resources through the state, and it really helped us accelerate the catalyst and destination that 40 West has become. In 2015, just last year, I hope all of you remember this document. This has now become the plan that I walk around with everywhere I go, just like the old 2006 plan. This is a community-driven product. Probably 100 people touched this, maybe even more, over a year-long process. It was facilitated by the city, and it had a lot of city council involvement. And if you haven't spent any time with it, it's not that dense. Flip through, but this is what we're building towards the future. And then with that, we built our plan for 2016, and our 2017 plan kind of builds on that as well. This is just a quick snapshot of some of the visuals. That top left corner is the West Colfax Action Plan I talked about from 2006 all the way to the Vision 2040 plan. The plans in between and the partnerships in between is really, if we have a secret sauce, although I'm not sure it's that secret, it's just working together. It's finding ways to align objectives so that our goals become collaborative goals with others, local business, local nonprofits, and clearly the city, its economic development goals, and its arts and culture goals as well. We're governed by a board as well. It's detailed in the narrative that we provided. We even have geographic areas that are required for our board members to represent throughout the district. So our 4.2 miles along West Colfax have representation. This board meets every other month. They're very involved in every step of the way of the programs that we fund and the operation and how we engage with the community. And I have our board president, Kevin Yoshida, here with us today, and I'm going to invite him up to take you through the next few steps, and I'll be back to wrap up in a little bit.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody. Thank you, Mr. Marino. And again, thank you to everybody here for your support, both as a body, financially, and individually. I recognize many faces here who've helped out on all kinds of initiatives. So I will keyboard. So I wanted to walk you through how we use all those documents that Bill cited as part of the foundation and history, and how that affects our day-to-day and week-to-week and year-to-year operations. So this is the filter that the bid board uses to discuss and talk about and figure out where we're moving. And I like to read this list from bottom to top. Invest and sustain. Are we taking care of our basic responsibilities and IGA obligations that we've been established, and the list is growing as we continue to add years to the organization. And then as we look forward, celebrate, collaborate, and improve. These are core values, but are we doing that responsibly, and are we doing it in a way that celebrates the community and reinforces our businesses along the corridor? This quick diagram is a different version of the Maddie slide. And the important part here for us as a board is impact and outcomes. We are the starting point for the mill levy funds and directing those into different programs, and our measuring stick are really those two items, both impact and outcome, and its effectiveness. Looking into the 2017, so there's more detailed descriptions of all of these 12 points. I think we've consolidated 2 into 11 from the plan that we submitted to you. But just wanted to walk through those quickly. So the top 3 are definitely the organizations that you recognize: the Forward-Facing Community and Arts Organization, 40 West Arts, and WCCA, and the other corridor programming that I hope you recognize with Colorfax and Mural Fest, which had a great year this past summer. Some of the new initiatives that we've arrived at and landed for 2017. One is the Creativity Lab. It's a business incubator helping start new businesses. It's a community design studio reinforcing services that existing businesses need, and a creative leadership institute. The CCI, Colorado Creative Industries certification, has 40 West Stories become noticed, and they're interested in and have provided funding for other districts in the state to seek out 40 West as a resource. We listen to our community. The Loveland House is a cultural and historical asset that is within our boundary, and we get questions about how can that be put into public use again. So we're picking up that conversation and hoping to make that part of our 2017 agenda. And similar to the AC bid, microgrants, providing that little bit of push to small business owners, filling that little bit of gap to help small projects that local businesses would like to undertake. Some of the other points, again, in the plan, some are ongoing, like the Ambassador and Visitor Center initiative we've had for a while. We've been looking for the right home, the right other assets to leverage. We think Casa Bonita, somewhere adjacent to that, with the new investments that the LRA has made in the great new park at Lamar Station Plaza, would be a good combination. Other historical initiatives and placemaking initiatives, and again, like the first list that I showed you, taking those maintenance and outreach, those fundamental mechanics that the organizations provide, making sure that we're continuously reinforcing and improving those mechanisms. This is the budget that you'll also find in your plan. It's the allocation of our mill levy information. And broken down into appropriately broad buckets that are identified, but also gives the board to ask questions and deploy these throughout the year based on those 12 points that I showed you before. Impact and outcomes. I used that term before. That's definitely the measuring stick that we continue to use on our every other month meeting. That slide before, I also wanted to mention, we every meeting we start with a budget review, P&L review. Our treasurer is Stu Wright with First Bank. He's very involved in reviewing those, and the board always has several questions at the beginning of every meeting that we review and make sure everybody's triangulated on the information that's in there before we move forward into our decision making. So applying those 2017 funds, again, reinforcing, making sure that WCCA and 40 West are effective and efficient about how they're doing their jobs. The Creativity Lab I talked to you about, we're going to combine that with the state funding and launch those three subsets that I talked to you about. New level of investment and business activity. I think Bill has included the arc of the increased sales tax revenue. We hope to continue to impress you with that growth number as we move forward. And again, I talked to you a little bit about the existing investment in assets, the investment into a new asset at Lamar Station Plaza. We continue to want to reinforce that. One of the other interesting parallel funding sources that we're allowed to use is the great story we have that we've all created here. We tell that story to other grant agencies. So that list is a beginning list, and that $3 million is a kind of quickly accessible list of all the other agencies that have taken notice in the city of Lakewood and 40 West Arts and the bid and how we've affected change, and we want to continue to improve those numbers as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Bill.
Thank you, Kevin. We couldn't have the sort of impact that we're having without people like Kevin. Business owners who own property along the corridor, all of our board members are either property owners or significant tenants, and rolling up their sleeves and getting involved in affecting change. So thank you, Kevin, on behalf of all of us. A couple of things I just want to share as we wrap up, things to look forward to. All three of our organizations are launching an integrated website within the next week. Knock on wood, cross your fingers. A new, really powerful website is going to get launched. All the old sites, all the content will still be there. You can still visit 40westarts.org. It'll redirect you here. We have a new portal homepage, which is going to be called GoWestColfax.org. That'll bring you here, and then you can get to any of the organizations that you want, but you can still get to WCCA through westcolfax.org and 40 West through 40 West, etc. I couldn't leave tonight without showing you some fun pictures. We're working really hard with the city and CDOT on these gateway features, these gateway monuments. They're works of art that will live in the median of West Colfax. We're working so hard to create experiences along West Colfax and have people create memories again there. And part of that is a sense of place. So having artwork that's your entry feature is important to us. And while there's a lot of jurisdictional hurdles to get over, and I've learned more about the subterranean area of Colfax, look forward to those next year. Knock on wood. Kevin mentioned the Creativity Lab. This is really exciting for a lot of reasons. We've been selected by the state to actually serve not only our community through these 3 service areas that Kevin mentioned. This is a new public-private nonprofit venture, but we've been asked to serve the entire state and the other 18 creative districts and those other communities that aspire to be certified creative districts. We're honored and flattered to be asked to do that, and you'll hear more about the Creativity Lab as it scales. I know you've all heard about the Arts Loop and our celebration together winning the National Endowment of the Arts grant. That stakeholder group is moving forward. Alexis Moore is amazing in leading that. I can't wait to see this transformation happen over the next couple of years. Just to wrap things up, we are focused on those elements that are in this plan, and all of those focus areas are represented within that. As we do affect change, our obligations as a bid grow. We have more maintenance requirements than we had in the past. That's a good thing. So we have to allocate more of our funds there. But we also want to make sure that we're building for the future. So as we look at those portfolio entities, we want to make sure that their leadership is in place for the future as well. We want to continue to strengthen our connection with the community. And really, if you know me at all, you know that last bullet under plan summary is it's a quest to continue to innovate, to do something new, and to challenge the status quo. So that's what we want to do as we continue to evolve West Colfax. Our request to you is to approve the plan so that we move towards implementation. And I leave you with this thought. In preparing today with Kevin over the last week or so, we looked at some of the old plans and we asked you to imagine in the past. We asked you to imagine an arts district along West Colfax, and now there is one. We together had a dream that maybe old JCRS Shopping Center could be revitalized. And if you've been by there lately, it's changed. It's now the epicenter of the Arts District. And there's a long list, and I'd love to go through them. I want us to still imagine, and I want us to keep dreaming, because anything's possible if we work together. So whether it's a new creativity lab that was born right here in Lakewood and serves our district and the entire state, or it's a new arts loop that's going to take years to build, but we can do it together, or things that we haven't even dreamt of yet. That's what we're about, and we can do it together, and we thank you for your time. And I'm happy to take any questions.
I think you'll have a couple. Councillor Vincent.
Just one thing. I'd be terribly remiss if I did not say something about the Loveland House. I am personally thrilled about that. I know I and another woman who have since moved out of the neighborhood, I think submitted that 4 times for the 10 most endangered structures in Colorado, and we came very close one time. So I appreciate that you're taking that, and I think you'll have a lot of support in the neighborhood. I know Maddie's talked about it, and I think it's so great that you're looking at things like that. And also, for those of you who may not know, you've been reaching out also, I believe, to some of the hotels and motels, should we say, for better uses. And I appreciate that too. So I just think you're doing a lot of great things. And I think that one of the things that people should be aware of is that we're getting recognized for all the things that are happening on West Colfax from people that are outside of Lakewood. And I think that says great things. And there's a lot of exciting stuff happening there. So thank you.
Councilor Roybal.
Thank you, Mayor. It looks like driving down Colfax, it's starting. You can start seeing the improvements back and forth. You can see the positive things going back. But I have a couple quick questions for you, and I think you can probably answer these real quick. After reviewing your presentation and looking back, I was kind of trying to figure out how your programs and services kind of worked. And I was looking at administrative programs, and then I said, well, that's $45,500. And I said, well, that's kind of low. Is there another administrative cost somewhere within your budget that is put together that will give us the magic number, what the total administration cost is?
Yeah, if you look at that, both in the presentation and in the narrative, each one of those three sections have a program management component. There's a people component to making anything happen. But just to be direct, I am paid the same way Tom Quinn is paid. I'm a management consultant, and the total fee for the management consultant is $90,000, and that gets pulled from a variety of different places, and it's been the same since 2009. Actually, it didn't start till 2011. The campaign from 2009 to 2011, the compensation was zero.
And it's pulled from several different places for your administrative costs?
Yes.
Okay. And I was looking at this and I was kind of confused. I didn't understand how how you pulled them from one place or another to make up the full administrative costs.
So 40 West contributes to its own personnel, so that they pay part of that as part of what they raise. But the administration, like I said, the management part of that is $90,000 total.
Okay. Is it possible in the next couple of days I can get a breakdown of where the actual money's coming from?
All the money, sure. First of all, our bid meetings are open to the public. You're welcome anytime.
Okay.
Our budget is published and is available online, and you're welcome to have that as well. And all of our documents are filed with the state. But come on by. I'll walk you through it every step of the way.
That'd be great.
We've got $200,000 plus or minus, and we try to make it go a long way.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Councilor Abel.
Hey, Bill, good job y'all do out there. I kind of have a follow on Pete's question. We have a West Colfax Business Improvement District budget here in front of us, and it doesn't have sources of revenue. The West Alameda bid had sources of revenue in its budget. I appreciate that it's online, but I would also appreciate next year when you come to us that you bring that along with these figures that we see here.
Be happy to do so, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you all.
So I'm going to open the public hearing now on the consent agenda, which includes items 7 through 11. Nobody's signed up to speak. Anybody in chambers? Seeing none, I will close public comment and ask for a motion, please.
Mayor Paul, I move for approval of the council minutes and for adoption of resolutions, all of which are included in the consent agenda items introduced into the record by the city clerk.
Second.
Okay, so I just want to make a couple comments here. Resolution 45, which is item 7, is approving sole source purchase of protective vests for our Lakewood members of the Metro West SWAT team. And I just want to say that I will certainly be supporting that. It's a critically important component to making sure that our folks stay safe. And then I want to thank the board members and Tom and Bill and Kevin and George. Thank you for all you do. And it's really a great partnership that you have with our community with economic development, and to see the things that are taking place on both corridors. It's just amazing. And it's things that you can really drill into that maybe the city might not be able to. So it's a nice complementary relationship, and I thank you for all your hard work. I'm excited to see what's going on in 2017. You both have a lot of energy and a lot of vision, so that's fantastic, and I look forward to supporting those additions as well. Councilor Wickman.
I'm sorry, I got engrossed with the improvement. I forgot about the police question. Obviously, it's all good, and I'm supportive. I'm just curious about the process as to why we went to sole bid as opposed to competitive bid, just a general generic question.
Absolutely. We'll have an answer for that, and I do believe in the RFCA they had a nice explanation, but welcome.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, councilors, for your time. I appreciate it. Sir, back in 2013, Wheat Ridge Police Department and the Lakewood Police Department combined to be the West Metro SWAT team. And back in 2013, at that time, the Wheat Ridge operators, their vests expired. So the Lakewood command staff of the SWAT team, as well as the Wheat Ridge command staff, got together and at that time in 2013 researched various tactical gear that would be best suited for operators. And they came up with the TYR brand, and there were a couple reasons. Two being the most important were it gave operators more mobility, and it took the weight, the plate carriers, the weight, and put it more on their hips and off of their shoulders. So it improved their mobility. So that's why we went with TYR.
And actually, I don't have any question about that. I'm just more curious about the process as why we just didn't put it out to bid.
Well, West Metro Wheat Ridge currently has TYR. So now the Lakewood side, since we're a team, we wanted to go with the same gear that Wheat Ridge currently utilizes, since they have really provided positive feedback on all of our operations as far as its functionality. We felt if it's good for them, and we've done the research with this brand, let's do it for the Lakewood side also. That's why we went with TYR.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to belabor the point, but I used to be on the fire district, and I remember we bought a lot of equipment, and a lot of times we would buy some of the stuff that was the most expensive, and there was some concern as if we put it out to bid, did that mean that we have to go with the lowest bid? And I always kept telling people, as an economist, putting things out to bid doesn't mean you have to take the lowest cost. You look at all the factors, like the factors that you just mentioned, that you want to go with Wheat Ridge. If that's an important factor, then you can go with that reason. You don't have to go with the low bid. But again, I always say you should go out for bid. But anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point, so thank you.
One more question, it looks like. Councilmember Franks?
No, I more just wanted to make a comment. I just really appreciate that you're making sure that it's weight balanced. Putting too much weight on your shoulders is a real burden and can cause a lot of health issues. So I like the fact that that was one of the criteria you used, was to make sure that the officers were comfortable while also being mobile.
Thank you.
Thank you, Division Chief Rickles. We appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Please cast your votes. And the consent agenda carries 10 ayes, 0 nays. Okay, so item 12 is general business.
We have an ACIC presentation.
All right. Thank you all. Ms. Merkel, welcome. Good evening.
Thank you. Mayor, City Council, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the time this evening to present to you. My name is Trish Merkel, and I'm a member of the ACIC, the Advisory Commission for an Inclusive Community. I have a presentation for you tonight from the Sustainability Committee. As you all know, the ACIC is made up of some residents, volunteer residents in Lakewood who are working together to make a difference. The ACIC is made up of 3 committees. We have the Civic Awareness Committee, the Neighborhoods Committee, and the Sustainability Committee. And these 3 committees are tasked with assignments from City Council to research issues that Council feels are important to the City of Lakewood. Additionally, we do research on grassroots assignments. These are assignments that are born from conversations with each other and with the community to find issues that are important to the community to bring forward to City Council. So in that way, the ACIC serves as a conduit of information between the City Council and the city residents. So I'm very pleased to be here tonight to present to you an assignment from the Sustainability Committee in regards to recycling in Lakewood parks and open spaces. This is a grassroots assignment to advise City Council of the best way to equip all City Lakewood parks and open spaces with at least one single-stream recycling bin. The background for this proposal came from just our observations and conversations with community members that there really were not a lot of recycle bins at our city parks. Now, a recent study that was conducted by the city showed that 94% of Lakewood residents would like to increase the city's recycling rate. And during the time that we were doing this research, the city has rolled out portions of the sustainability plan, which includes single-stream recycling at cities' indoor facilities, such as recreation centers, art centers, and community centers. We believe that adding single-stream recycling to our outdoor facilities is in line with Lakewood's core community values of sustainability, education, infrastructure, and quality of life. So the research that we did on this assignment was twofold. First, we looked to see what the city was currently doing in recycling efforts for the city in outdoor spaces. And we also looked to see what other communities were doing throughout Colorado and across the nation. So in our research, we found that recycling is available in only 6 of the city's 99 parks. And we also found that the city is currently considering expanding this to 20 additional city parks. Now, to do our research for other communities, the Sustainability Committee built a survey instrument that we could use on the telephone or online with other city leaders, city staff in other communities to see what they did for their recycling efforts. And so we reached out to several communities across the nation, and we did get excellent feedback from 8 communities in regards to recycling logistics such as bin size and structure, signage, location, startup costs and operational costs, and partnerships in the recycling efforts. Now, in your full packet that you received this evening that has our full report, you will find that those questions from our survey listed in there, as well as all the responses from the communities that we researched. Additionally, you will find the contact information and the names and numbers of the people that we did interview. So with all of that research, we do have some recommendations for the city. We do recommend that you expand the current pilot program. We recommend that you do this by researching different types of recycle bins. This was great feedback that we received from the communities that we interviewed, that it really does make a difference about the size and the shape and the color and the restrictive openings of the recycle bins, that you really want a recycle bin to look like a recycle bin and not a trash can. We also recommend that you begin with the city parks that are most used. The city has done a fantastic job of doing this down at the Heritage Center during the events down there, the summer concert series and cider days. We would recommend expanding this to parks that have a lot of sporting activities, so to get some easy wins with all of those water bottles and sports drink bottles. We do believe that education is the key, and to educate the city residents on the programs that the recycling programs, can do this by hosting some open houses and announcing the recycling efforts at city and community events. We also recommend that you request public input on the program And we do recommend that you provide single-use recycling boxes with facility reservations. That would be such as park pavilions and the Stone House and the party rooms at the rec centers. And then our last recommendation is to reevaluate this pilot program and to make adjustments as necessary before expanding the program. Now this slide depicts two different types of recycling bins. So the one on the left is called the Big Belly, and you'll see this referred to several times in our report. So what this is a solar-powered trash compactor and recycling bin. So these are springing up all in communities all over the world. You'll see them in downtown Golden, and if you look at their website, our friends to the south of us in Douglas County are actually listed on their website as a case study for putting these in their outdoor facilities. The picture on the right shows one of those single-use recycle bins that we're recommending that are used, offered for with facility rentals. And finally, have to thank the research team on the Sustainability Committee. So I'm Trish, and I've had the help with John, Laura, Joe, Russ, Bernie, Michelle, and Nicole. And of course, need to thank Dana. When this project started, she was not yet an elected official, and she was part of this, getting this grassroots assignment off the ground. And of course, want to thank Margie and Ethan for their support for the ACIC. And then thank you all for your support for the ACIC, and thank you for giving us a voice into the community. We really appreciate it.
Well done. Thank you very much. It's a great presentation, and I must say, you have some of your folks back there. Thanks for coming out, and you can't leave yet, because I think there might be some questions. But I'd just like to say, I mean, every time we see a presentation, the quality and the background is just top notch. So very, very well done. Councilor Franks.
Well, first I wanted to say thank you. Recycling is very important to me. I recycle, I compost, I reuse, so I'm really excited about all this. I did not have a time to read your presentation in its entirety. Wanted to see if there was any estimated costs in there for like the Big Belly or those single use. Wanted to kind of understand if there was any cost research done.
We did a little bit of cost research, but that was not part of our assignment. The cost was going to be put forward to the city staff to take care of all the costing estimates. There are estimates within the research proposal for the Big Belly. I can say that a lot of communities have gotten grants to help offset some of the costs of the Big Bellies in their communities.
Great. And maybe this is a question for Nanette. On that kind of thing, if we were to go out for grant money, is that kind of the money that is outside of the whole Tabor sort of, when you were talking about grant money? I just want to understand, if we go after grant money, does that really help us, or is that we get kind of that catch-22?
My understanding, it is part of the catch-22 for the grant money. As you facilitate and ask the question for cost, my recommendation is that you would ask staff to look at this in more detail and come back to you with some costs to explore if you want to move forward and how.
Great. And I did want to say that if we do explore the costs, Mayor Paul, I'd like to expand that exploration to include reverting our recycling center over off Quail back to a single stream, what the cost difference is. I just know that caused a lot of hardships for people who live in our apartment complexes or places where they don't have the ability to store a lot of bins. Thanks.
Councilor Coop.
Thank you, Ms. Merkel. Very nice. You've been working on this a very long time with the team. I have a question as well about Big Belly, and it surprised me that you said it's a compactor. Is there why go to a compactor type of unit?
So these Big Bellies compact the trash and the recycling in the bins, and so it doesn't need to be picked up so often. And so there's actually a sensor on the recycle bins and the trash compactor that lets you know when it's full, and so it communicates with smartphones for city staff to go out and empty them, and so staff does not need to go out often and check to empty them. So the compacting helps reduce the amount of times that they need to go out to empty the trash.
Okay, that's good. But now I'm thinking, I'm at the park, I'm not paying attention, I stick something that shouldn't go in the aluminum metal recycling, and now it's all compacted in there. Does that cause more problems when they pick it up and try to recycle it?
So we didn't look into those logistics exactly, that specifically for the Big Belly. Big Belly is just one of the recommendations that we are looking into in this proposal. So obviously contamination of the recycling is a big problem, and therefore different cities and communities do different things to help prevent the contamination. So that's why we're suggesting that it's very important to look at the different sizes and shapes and colors and restrictive openings for the recycle bins. So we'd have to look more into communities that use those Big Bellies and see what they recommend.
Great. Thank you. Very nicely done. Thank you.
Councilor Abel.
I believe in a citizen survey 3 years ago, the single location for recycling was an issue, and a lot of folks have a hard time getting to Quail Street. So is a good concept, and it seems that y'all covered all the bases, and I'm impressed with your research.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Harrison.
Great job. And just to point out so that the people at home would understand, would you describe the difference between single stream recycling and boxes and all different kinds of recycling?
Certainly. So if you have to segregate your recycling waste, you have one container for glass, one container for aluminum, one container for paper. Single stream recycling, they all go together, and those items get sorted out at the recycling facility. So it's easier for the residents to recycle. They just throw it all into one bin.
So that would be the advantage of the Big Belly. You really could put paper and glass and aluminum in there, and then when it goes to the recycling facility, it would be all sorted out. Okay, thank you.
Councilor Wickman.
One of the advantages of going last, everybody's asked the question, so all I'm going to do is piggyback on what's being said. What you're saying is perfect. I want to do it. So my question is, how can we make it happen in the next month? Or, you know, I mean, I'm on it. I'm in a hurry, you know?
Or a year ago.
Yes, a year ago. And anyway, we do have a budget coming up. So I want to know if there's something I can put in the budget to start making this happen.
So our recommendation is for you to vote on this and take it forward to city staff, and then city staff will help you with all of that. So we would appreciate you putting that into the budget. We would be more than happy.
We ready for a motion? Yeah.
Well, there's still some folks who have their lights on, but typically what we'll do is if it does go forward, which I imagine it will, city staff, and they've already been plugged in, Kit Newland's already been plugged in a bit, they'll start working on that and give us a better understanding. And I'm hearing two things. The other thing that I think we would request would be maybe a quick update on why the city, and I know this came out some time ago, but with the new council, why the city did go from single stream at the recycling center, and maybe that would help give us some better background too about that, so we can get that. So does that satisfy that, Councilor Wickman? We will send it tonight to staff to start.
I don't want to see it die for a year. I mean,
right.
Let's get on it.
Correct. We'll make sure we put that in the comments. Councilor Gutwein.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more, Councilman Wickman. And I was smiling through the presentation, just remembering getting to work on this with you, and it was a lot of fun. And we're just so lucky to have such high caliber people on the sustainability team, and what a great job you did in seeing this through. So thank you so much for the work, and I can't wait to see recycling in all the parks someday. Thank you.
Councilor Franks.
Well, I was sitting here and just did a quick Google search, and there are communities that have reported kind of what their issues are with them. And when I'm looking at these, it would be helpful to kind of understand what our mitigation strategy is for some of the issues that they report, because I still think they're a great idea, but best to kind of be ahead of the curve with the issues that other communities have already reported.
All right, let's get you off the hot seat and I guess accept a motion to accept the recommendation.
I move to accept the recommendation.
Second.
Does that suffice, Mr. Cox?
There were several recommendations, but I think that this is the recommendation to go forward to staff for more particulars on the program.
Yep. All right, motion and a second. Please cast your votes. And that carries 10 ayes, 0 nays. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, job well done. All right. And in the legislative intent of that, we will put hurry. Is there an executive report tonight?
None.
Okay, no executive report. A couple things coming up, and if there's individual council members who've signed up for some part of Cider Days, I'd encourage you to share what you're doing. I'm going to ride on a tractor. But this Saturday and Sunday is the annual Cider Days, which is a great event. A lot of fun things going on. And while you're there, if you do have the opportunity, the city's doing a master plan update of the Heritage Center. So there'll be some folks down there trying to get feedback from the community. And there's also a way you can take the survey online at lakewood.org/LHC plan. So that'd be great to get the community feedback on that. And it's always a great event, so look forward to seeing you folks out there. And I think you can bring your own apples and go home with apple cider. Council President Shakti.
I have a ward meeting next Monday morning at 8 o'clock at Sunrise Sunset on Wadsworth.
Councilor Wickman.
Well, speaking of Saturdays, I'll be there with the Lakewood Foothills Rotary Club, and we will press your apples.
There you go.
If you bring your apples down, we'll press them down into cider. You can take it home. So come on down for that. It is political season. There are a number of debates going on. Speaking of Rotary, tomorrow, Tuesday, at noon, the Lakewood Foothills Rotary Club, which meets at the Warren Tech Restaurant, is going to have a half-hour debate between the pros and cons of the school bond issue. So if you'd like to come down for that, please join us. And along the same lines, looking ahead to our next town hall meeting for Ward 4, which I believe is on October 11th off the top of my head, we are going to be having a candidates forum. So if you'd like to hear from the candidates from both sides, again, that's the second Saturday from 9:30 to 11 at the Green Mountain Presbyterian Church at Mississippi and Alameda. And then a final shout out to Reg Cox and Diane Rodis and the folks from GMCA, Foothills Elementary School. Yesterday they had their annual neighborhood festival. And even though people were staying home watching the game, the people that came out had a great time. So thanks for everybody participating in that. So good event. Thank you.
Sir Vincent.
Let's see. There's been a couple things this week. One is that I got to serve people at the Betty Proctor fundraiser lunch, and I didn't spill anything on anybody, so I even got a few tips, which went to that. That was fun. And then there was a Senior Resource Center fundraiser also with Reggie Rivers, and that was kind of fun. And then I will be probably doing the best job I can at eating apple something for an hour, and that's what I'll be doing at Cider Days. Eating, what am I eating?
Probably apple pie.
I think it's apple pie, so
Whipped cream?
I hope. So thank you.
Councilor Roywall.
No report.
Councilor Harrison.
I will also be helping judge the apple pie competition. I'm really excited about that. And I also wanted to remind everybody that if you really need something to do on not this weekend, but the following weekend, is the Action Center Beautiful Junk Sale. If you've never been there, oh, baby, you need to try to go because you will become one of the overstuffed from understuffed, whatever that commercial is. It is marvelous. I will almost guarantee you, you won't go home empty-handed. It starts at Jefferson County Fairgrounds on Friday and will run through Saturday. So 2 wonderful days to go garage shopping in one place. How much better can life be? Thank you.
Well said. Councilor Abel.
No report.
Councilor Coop. You have to tell us what you're doing at Cider Days, sir.
I'm going to enjoy myself quite a bit.
I think he's also an apple pie judge, maybe. Councilor Franks.
The only correction is it's Saturday. It's the second Saturday's the 8th, and I do not have a role at Cider Days. My sister is getting married on October 1, so I'm going to celebrate with her.
Awesome. Councilor Gutwein.
I have a couple of things. Don't get annoyed with me. First, we had a really exciting day on Saturday at Green Gables Elementary School, which is in my neighborhood and in Ward 5, and we celebrated the groundbreaking of our community garden, which is something that I got to be involved in 3 years ago, and now has been carried on by Christy Cerrone and Robert Young in the Sustainable Neighborhoods Program, and it's 3 years in the making, and we're just so excited to have this beautiful place where our kids can learn about healthy food, enjoy the sun, and get dirty. So very thankful to the City of Lakewood and all the partners to make that community garden happen. It was a really fun celebration. The second thing is that Dr. Cog, which Shakti and I are both on the board, I'm the alternate, but they have been working on the MetroVision update. And so it's about aging, transportation, and growth of the area. The public comment for that update is November 16th. And then I just kind of wanted to put on everyone's radar, I think it would be great if we had them come out and present, once it's been adopted, come out and present the plan. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. And then last, celebrated my 7th anniversary with Chet this weekend. So thanks for all the love and support. To my husband, I wouldn't be able to be up here without him. So that is all. Thank you.
In case you're curious, Dr. Cog is the Denver Regional Council of Governments. So sometimes we speak in acronyms and think, who's Dr. Cog? Why do we want him to come out here? But anything else for the good of the order? All right, I'd like to thank our police agents for hanging out and keeping us safe tonight. Be safe out there, and we will adjourn at 8:22 p.m.
Longing to say